Hey everyone, it's Jacob Jake's Metal Chat. Hope you're all well, and welcome to episode 15 of my Metal Vault. You know the drill. I will be exploring and showing you my favorite albums within heavy metal, thrash metal, death metal, black metal, doom metal, sludge metal, folk metal, you name it. All that excellent stuff. And I have another absolute banger here from you from another awesome band all the way from Telford, Shropshire, here in the UK, formed in 1987. I've covered this band before here on the channel and got to cover them again. There's plenty of bands that I've already covered that will be in this series. Here is just another one of those awesome bands. And I've seen these guys quite a few times now. First time would have been at Netherlands Death Fest in 2017, and I saw them at Hammerfest up in North Wales at this holiday resort, caravan resort place. And then Damnation 2018, and then the last time was UK Death Fest. And I've had the main guy, the only original member left in this band, on my chat. Without further ado, let's get the band on here. This is Cancer and their debut from 1990 to the Gory End. You're going to know that image, be it a death metal fan or a horror fan or both. You're going to know it. There's the back of the album with all the songs. And let's get a picture of the band themselves. So we got John, Carl, and Ian, the original three of the band, the CD. And if you are a subscriber of mine and you've been following me for a while, you know it's John that I had on my chat. And I got to meet him in person at UK Death Fest, a really cool guy to chat with. Well, let's get on with the album as well in question. But before we do, lyrics. And let's get the artwork there and the band as well. Of course, Ian and Carl are no longer in Cancer. They left sometime, I think, yeah, Carl left last year, and well, both of them did. Carl and Ian both left, which now is just John in the band. And he's a really good guy to talk to. When I spoke to him at UK Death Fest, he was about to wander around Camden. Band picture there. And loving the Napalm Death shirt from Carl. John is wearing Samhain. Well, some people say Samhain, but it's pronounced Samhain. And I don't know what Ian's wearing, but yeah, the band Samhain. That's one of Glenn's old bands, Glenn Danzig's band. So yeah, as I'm exploring the album, I'm gonna explore some of the shirts, and of course Napalm Death, one of the biggest grindcore bands ever. Now let's talk about this album. This one was mixed at Morrisound Studios, obviously in Florida, but of course was recorded at Loco Studios. I'll just show you the back. There you go. Morrisound, of course, produced by Scott Burns and Cancer. And you can probably tell down there, backing vocals on Die Die by John Tardy of Obituary. And there's keyboards on Die Die and To the Gory End by Tim Lewis. It's the only thing he done with the band. And I just listened to this again about 2 hours ago now, because I knew I was going to be chatting about this, and I needed to listen to it again because it is such a sick banger. It's an absolute killer album. And just how it starts off with the song Bloodbath with the drums, with the drums, and then more, and then it starts off with the snare for cancer, fucking cancer, and witch hunt just goes straight into witch hunt from there into the acid, just going straight into that as well. They all go straight into each other. Of course, Tim Lewis doing his keyboards for tracks 6 and 9. So 6 being To the Gory End and Die Die, having the keyboard intro to the gory end. You know, when I showed this in my favorite death metal albums video, I'm trying to remember which one I showed this on now. It might have been episode 5 or 6. Probably one of the later ones. Um, Obviously, I said To the Gory End as they make you ride the blade, which is part of those lyrics. Just you know, to the gory end as they make you ride the blade, and as your life will now fade. Great lyrics there. Of course, carrying on with the other songs, got body count straight into that as well, and then sentence, and then you got the keyboard intro, that nice mid-tempo pop in Die Die. Once he gets to the chorus, of course, you got John doing the bits before Die Die, and then you hear John Tardy come in, and there's that slower part where they're taking it in turn saying Die. Yeah, this came out on the 15th of May 1990 on what they're called label Vinyl Solution. Of course, that's where Bolt Thrower released their debut album, which I have covered here on my Metal Vault. In Battle There Is No Law. And of course, these guys went on for the second album with another record label called Restless Records. That album being Death Shall Rise, which I will cover, and I've already shown on my favorite death metal albums. Yeah, the artwork there, of course, anyone who is a horror fan will know this. That is one of the many zombies from Dawn of the Dead from 1978, directed by George A. Romero. For anyone that is not familiar with that film, but of course it'd be like, I know who George A. Romero is, I know what Dawn of the Dead is, but rest in peace to George A. Romero. Of course, that's the zombie that Tom Savini ends up putting a machete through the head in that film. Show the back again, because I like how the contrast it is, like black cover with red logo with the red and yellow. Of course, yellow writing for To the Gory End. Like how it all balances out there, and then there's black writing on red. Um, all right, yeah, cover illustration by Carl Stokes himself. So cover concept by Carl Stokes, and the illustration and photos by Phil Higgins, who did the band photos. And of course, this is a re-release from, I can't remember who I got this from now. Of course, it's had various numerous releases. About Yeah, it's had two vinyl releases from Vinyl Solution. Silent Scream released a CD of this. I'm trying to think which one this is. It's not, because obviously it is a re-release, but it's not a 2023 one. Uh, Not too sure. 2008. I'm looking at the back now, so see 2008 would be probably the one I got here, but obviously that's I think that's a DVD with the CD. I'm not entirely sure. I haven't actually checked to see if it is or not, but I got a feeling the one I got is that. Yeah, I got one from the one I'm looking at here is 2008 Gold Records, which authenticity stuff like that. Like Gold Records label, obviously, was the only release they got. It might be this one, or I don't know which one it is, but obviously it's got the bonus being that. But still, I got the album. I want to try and find this on vinyl as well as Death Shall Rise and Sins of Mankind. Those three albums will be covered here on my Metal Vault. Anyway, of course, that's the next one after the Sins of Mankind. It all started with this album. Whoops. It all started with this album, and the first time I actually heard them was actually this album. This was around 2008, thereabouts. I just went on YouTube and I was trying to find more death metal bands, but they're more on the death thrash side. There's still some thrash in this one, but the later two albums went more death metal, but still got that thrashiness to it, and it's still got and there's a lot of thrash in this as well. Also, John's vocals not the traditional. Well, I'd say traditional, more the guttural growls that we know today. It's more on the raspier, harsher side, like you would hear from like bands like Sodom and Crater, and maybe a bit of Martin from Sabat slash, well, more Sabat than Skyclad, but you know what I mean. Guitar sound is just mad, especially with the chuggy parts and like you know, cancer fucking cancer and bloodbath and especially onto the gory end, especially in that slower part when it gets to that acute that nice somewhat sepultura-ish type of riff with that with the guitar gone more a bit more acoustic there, like you would hear on um Inner Self from Beneath the Remains by Sepultura, that sort of bit. Um yeah, and just to confirm, being silly here, yeah, it is Gold Records. It says right there. There we go. So 1990 Vinyl Solution, 2008 Gold Records. So yeah, that's the re-release I got. Just I've had a long week. So, but definitely for anyone brand new to death metal, I've said this before. I'll keep saying it. This is an album that everyone needs to listen to. It's solid. It's fast. It's aggressive. It's a solid release and a timeless classic piece of death metal. It's part of that death metal history. Like I said, it's very thrashy as well. And they did play quite a number of these when Cancer played UK Death Fest back in 2022, which was such a great, such a great weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Because I think it was meant to just be Friday and Saturday, but then they changed it because the whole festival had to get rescheduled twice. Yeah, looking at the set list from UK Death Fest, they did play Cancer Fucking Cancer. That's what they opened with, and then also Into the Acid, Bloodbath, Witch Hunt, and as well as other songs from the other albums. But as we're talking about this one, of course, CFC, just to say it for short now, Into the Acid, Bloodbath, and Witch Hunt. All four solid tracks, but if I'm going to pick my favorite ones from this album, obviously Bloodbath, CFC, Witch Hunt, Into the Acid, To the Gory End, Body Count, and Die Die. But in terms of top three, I don't know. Bloodbath, CFC, Into the Acid, To the Gory End. That would be that's top four actually. So but in terms of like top three favorite tracks by Cancer, obviously To the Gory End, obviously the top I'm gonna go with the title track. From second album, is either going to be between Back from the Dead or Undrawn and Quartered. The Sins of Mankind, I haven't heard that one in quite a while. But I think the first track, Cloak of Darkness, but I'll listen to that again because obviously those two are going to be covered here. But I thought I'd start off with the debut, which, well, I would have got a lot of recognition from death metal fans because obviously it was coming out at the same time as a lot of other solid death metal albums to come out in 1990. But this is just one of many and one of the best albums to come out of 1990 in terms of metal, not just death metal in general, but metal as a whole. Like I said, it's fast, it's aggressive, it's a solid, timeless masterpiece. And again, a lot of you are going to know this. All of you hardcore death metal veterans out there are like, yeah, I remember when this came out. I saw them when they played this stuff live. I saw them like depending on where you're on. Like, oh yeah, I saw them a bunch of times in the UK. Or you might be like, oh, I saw them on tour with Cradle of Filth back in '93, which had Nick Barker playing drums because obviously Carl got into an accident. One of his arms was broken, and I think both his legs were broken as well. I can't remember, but it was featured in the '93 edition of Kerrang. You know which one. But yeah, solid piece of death metal right here. Very well, like I said, it's still borderline thrash metal as well. So you can say death metal, death thrash, but either way, it's a killer album, which for anyone new to death metal needs to have, as well as the last two I said. Even the 2018 album Shadow Gripped is a great one to listen to. Haven't listened to Black Faith or Spirit in Flames yet, but I will check them out. But if you want just the death metal stuff and you want just the three early 90s releases, this one, 100, this one, Death Shall Rise, and The Sins of Mankind. Almost said the track name of from Death Shall Rise, but that's one of the tracks I mentioned. Um, yeah, seeing them live playing. I saw them as a three piece. What first time around in at Netherlands Death Fest. That was 2017, and getting at Hammerfest, and then I think they became a four piece 2018 at Damnation. Can't remember the top of my head, but last time I saw them for a four piece as they were when I've seen videos of them live. Of course, to note, he wasn't on this album, but he was on the second one, Mr. James Murphy, just an absolute shredder in the death metal scene. But yeah, I can't remember who they got on guitar for this album. But well, actually, they were just a three piece for this album. But I think they had a guitarist around that time. Guitars. No, just a three piece at the time. But I think, yeah, they had James Murphy on guitar in '91, and then '92 to '96, and then 2013 to 2014 they had Barry Savage, of course, of Lockup and Hall of Fire. Of course, different bass player Adam Richardson from 2003 to 2006. Rob, not going to try and say his last name. 2003 to 2004 lead guitar, and then Dave, not going to try and say his last name either. I think it's a Leach. I can't say it. Lead guitar from 2004 to 2006. Also from Hall of Fire. Never heard of him. I'm just looking up briefly. Death metal and current status unknown. But obviously these guys lasted first obviously formed in 1987, split up pretty much after like a year after Black Faith came out. Then reformed in 2003, released an EP called Corporations. And then Spirit of Flames came out in 2005. Split up again in 2008. And in 2013, they've been active ever since. So they've been reactives for going close to, well, yeah, pretty much 11 years now, as it's 2024. Love to see these guys again. Hopefully they come back to doing our tour around the UK, just even if it's just like the odd show here and there. Because I know John lives in Spain now, because he formed a band with his wife called Liquid Graveyard. Raquel Walker. A lot different, more on the avant-garde progressive death metal side, but so completely different from the hard-hitting, 100 miles an hour beast this is. Well, I say 100 miles an hour is it's like you got the fast bits and then it just slows down a little bit, but not to the point of being too death doom or it's not that. It's like I said, it's death metal and it's thrash metal. It's death thrash. It's death metal, very thrashy death metal. Solid album. I know I've said that quite a lot, but I don't think there's any more words to give this album justice. It's just a solid killer, timeless masterpiece, which everyone should own. Anyone brand new, this is the album you got to look for, as well as the other two I've mentioned. Definitely. Well, if you want to start off with the second album, then that's an awesome choice as well. Or something like, I started off with The Sins of Mankind first time around, and then found out about these. But you want to hear where it all started for this band? This one. So once again, this is Cancer and To the Gory End. That's it for another episode of My Metal Vaults. Just looking at my list now, and let's tick that off now. Of course, I've got them pretty much all dated now, just looking at them here. Yep, pretty much got like what days I'm doing, because obviously I do these Tuesdays and Saturdays, but obviously some I'll have to record like days before, like a day before, because I know one of them I got to record either the day before or 2 days before, because obviously on the 2nd of February I got one scheduled for the 3rd of February, so I might have to either record that on the 1st of February or the 2nd of February. The 2nd of February I'm going out to a gig, pretty much in the evening, so might do it for the 1st, and then yeah, I got quite a few that I'll have to record like days before, but some might not going out much, so I can actually record them on the day. My favorite death metal album's still happening. Contacted 2 guests to come onto the chat, and just got to confirm with one of them that we can still do a Thursday in February, and the other one being the man behind Black Coffee Worship, which I appeared on the Fakia Fika episode. So if you haven't checked out, down below. Same with my chat with John from Cancer. But anyway, thank you very much for tuning in. If you're brand new, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Comment if you have anything to comment about, be it about the album, the video, whatever. And to those who have recently subscribed, I had 3 new subscribers recently, and I've gone up to 599 subscribers now, almost at 600 now. So thank you very much for that. very much appreciate it. It's great that there's people out there that like my content. And of course, I'm going to mention the other YouTubers that I've mentioned before. Melon Loves Death Metal, Ken's Death Metal Crit, Mark G with a C, the Death Doom Metalhead. There's so many more out there. And just so many more to check out. And again, it's great that we have that fan base from you guys. Is amazing. So thank you very much. I've been Jacob Jake's Metal Chat. Keep that banner of metal held high, and I'll see you all again in another episode of my Metal Vault.